This is for the Dallas rapper. One of the gospel singers told me she been communicating throwing punchlines at me. And very I can't pronounce her way, but she's a real good gospel. You will win. And she been throwing punchlines at me, and she thought it might don't feel like no way out. Despite what you hear of what's going on, but it's just temporary. Me listening to her and just understanding the interview a lot more than that, But I'm faced with these Dallas rappers. Shout out to the guys, one of the gospel singers. We ain't gonna say nothing, but these Dallas rappers keep lying and other people teaming up. So, I just think when you're living in an environment and you stand positive in a way that people want to make it hard for you, and I think you know people so busy want to come up and they'll crush your dreams instead of showing that love. And that's one of the things that we have. Kanye West just throw the punchline at me. He mentioned my name. He said, I want it hungry ass nigga. I ain't hungry. Knowledge is what I growth is what I seek. And I think that's where most of where we at. Growth is what I see. It's not just hungry, it's not about the money, it's not about those things. To be able to grow is the most important thing in life. To be able to spread your wings without being judged or racial profile, that's the most important in life. Not being intimidated and racial profile when you're on a job. Because you can't do that because you're so busy under control and black people and white people looking at you with intimidation on the job. And that's what I had to do. It's hard to be yourself around these type of people. And I think the way I want is not about the money. I want to have enough income where I can live the way I want to live and just not just live to grow the way I want to grow and not be in the face of racism. Orion said something in church in the city. He said, because I know people, he said something in church in the city. He said, most people are not going to be able to taste their dream. I didn't worry about that because God already seeded my plan. He already planted my feet. And that is the biggest thing. But when one thing we realize in this world, you can't tell people that don't want to see you nothing about your dream because they were trying to stop that. And that can be the downfall of when we got into society. They don't want to see another black man with anything what we have to grow and we have to do. And I think that's the most, I'm doing good. How y'all doing? That's the most important thing with those situations. But one of the gospel singers, this You Will Win song, she been communicating throwing punchline. People don't have to mention your name, but I'm dealing with the diversity where these kids and people in Dallas, they so realize to come up and they'll do anything and be selfish to come up. And that's why I told people, if you're in knowledge, don't come around me. I don't want, if you're going to listen to everybody, don't come around me. I told my friends on Like You on my other thing, we will see paradise. Don't come around me. I want every kid and everybody to stay away from me because it's about the belief system. I don't want to deal with you because you're not picking up a book, you're not educated. And I don't want that to come back and bite me where it got manipulation, women get mad because let me tell you, people would tell us which way to go, but they don't want to tell us how to be successful. And we got to find those ways how to unlock the key with those things without people feeling some type of way. Yeah, hey, how you doing? And those are things we have to be able to identify in the keys, and always on that because people willing to tell you which way to go, but they're not telling you how to be successful. And it got manipulation in it. When they tell you to get off your throne, get out your mama house, they want to see you lose. Watch the sense when your seed has already been planted. People looking, people doing bad behavior, misconduct. I don't got time for those things. And Orion don't. Let me tell you something. the people that chilled with me that I was out of school at Creeview. And they came and cheered about my house, Tavani, DeMarcus, and a couple other people in Creeview came and just being able to chill with me. They know me the most in Creeview High School. And I don't think I even went to summer school when I didn't have to go to summer school at Creekview. And this was the time I met another person. I was actually going to school at Creekview. And at that time, I was actually going to school at Creekview, summer school at Creekview. And around the time we met, and I was actually had to go to summer school at Creekview with my teachers, a little bit. And those things, we don't worry about those things because you don't know nothing about me. Orion don't know nothing about me in church in the city. And I think if he don't know nothing about me, he know my age, he called my age, that's all he knows. He don't know what really who I am, like my friend Ricky. Ricky was in there here in Dallas. And I told him to watch out for these Dallas niggas trying to deceive you. And I told him to go into Texas music. I got people that work for artists around here and they're on that whole shit because they trying to come up. And one thing I told him, and he said, Hubert, his girlfriend was right. I heard you ain't like, I told you ain't like that because the lies of where I had to put myself in a situation where the rap community was attacking me. And out of state of Texas, and the Dallas mayor is trying to lie. But no, timing has always been good. If the community in Dallas gonna believe one side and not listen to the other side, and other people are not gonna listen to the other side, timing is always good. They have people from around the world that's willing to listen. And I think it's not just about taking a word for it. Because everybody's taking Yellow Breeze's side, and I file a complaint on the industry. So notice I'm not with the buffooning, and I'm not when he said he tried to no go ahead with that. You heard about me in Dallas County, and you're gonna lose everything. God said you're gonna lose everything that you stand for, Yellow Breeze. I had these kids around here just talking. I don't got time for that, man. I would not argue with you. And that's what the streets want you to do. That's what people in this city want you to do because they're so busy fighting for attention from somebody and they can't go their own way. And that can be the biggest problem that we have in society. Now that stuff that Orion said and me and one of the gospel singers, I'm taking everybody that believe in God with me. On that jet, we're gonna make sure we ain't doing nothing different in this situation. I'm not hungry. I'm hungry for growth and more of an ambition, Kanye West. And he talked about me in a song called All Day. That's not the problem. But let me tell you what the courts in the Dallas County jail want me to do. They want me, they put me in that situation to go to Metro Care where they can see me downfall. And I can just be like that. And it's all about control and domination. And I think the state of Texas wrong because of racism in Texas legislators. And I just had to file a racial complaint. And another racial complaint of one count of don't want to take responsibility for your mayor actions and taking his side. That's another count. And want to see me in a group home and want to see me suffer, knowing my situation on one count of racism from the Texas legislature in the state of Texas. We'll commit you of deception. State of Texas legislator in the state of Texas. I will not fall. I know when I go to that Metro Care, I have to stay my course and my balance. You want me to fall with your racism and your politics. And I would not fall with those things or what you say I will fall on. I'm from New Orleans. How about you? My emotions have already been given to me. My thing has already been given to me. I'm gonna tell you one thing. When I was in that would have been plain no more. And people know and the FBI gonna be able to figure that out now. I talked to everybody with their parents. I didn't do nothing. When I was in that mall, I didn't do nothing without them. And that plain old bit mall next to going towards in Carrollton and going towards the Willoughby Mall. I did everything with people parents. My intelligence and my way I do things, that was more important. And I think when I'm not just talking to Dallas or Wildlet community, I have talked to Plano, I have talked to so many people, parents, and I have interacted with them in a way nobody, Wildlet don't even understand. But a black woman gonna say, we ain't with that. Let me tell you something. Y'all wanna listen to people. And I ain't for those things. And I think it takes a real leader like the New York governor that got stepped down. Leaders be by themselves. I want y'all to keep hanging out. Keep hanging out with listening to Trap Boy Freddy. Keep listening to them. But let me tell you something. Keep doing what you're doing, but leave me alone. I don't want nothing to do with you. Today I was in church in the city, God said, when you catch on to the spirit of somebody, when I'm interacting at 11 o'clock 43, and then one of the church members, one of the girls, and I caught on to the spirit, God see everything. So if I tell the justice department, look onto the spirit, the way I was talking to people, one of the kids, the spirit of them, what that mean? God say, I caught on to each person's spirit. So when I was walking, one girl was looking at me in the spirit when I was talking. God said, my eyes are on your spirit everywhere. You can't even deceive me. I see when you're jealous. I see when you're envy. I see these things. God can see God said, I want you the satellite to see my enemy. I want the monopolist to see my enemy. I will see my enemy by spirit. 1,000 feet. God said, 1,000 feet. Drake said, people showing fake love to me straight up to my face. I can see people showing fuck love to me 1,000 feet away. Let me tell you what the streets and these kids want to do and Yellow Breeze and them want to do. They want us to argue with you. They're haters and liars that you envy so much to think that you don't want nobody else. They want us to lie. But they want us to lie. But he trying to blame Jay-Z and them for his mistakes and his lies, his ego. So I say, you can't seek your way out of this, partner. Don't blame, and Jay-Z and them should sue you for lying, and for them lying, you lying on them. That's an automatic sue. Lying and conspiracy to lie because you don't want to admit the truth that MO3 track, that's your problem. And if I was Beyonce and Jay-Z, I would sue you. I would sue Yellow Breezy for the lies and the deception. But Obama is cool with Beyonce and them, right? So let's tell Obama to reach out. I'm gonna message Obama now and tell Obama to reach out to Jay-Z and sue them Yellow Breezy for lying and deception. So when I get on that clock, no, I didn't start this. And God said, we didn't start this. Yellow Breeze and them and the rest of them with their lies started this. And the Texas legislature want me to argue with lies and deception in the city. What to me? Nobody wants to put up with that, man. I just filed a racial complaint on the Texas legislature on justice.com. I have given them so many chances to be honest with me. And the Texas legislators in the state of Texas, they kept lying to me. They wanted the judge. I have filed a complaint on Gainesville with that CPS lady for racism, for judging me, for the mayor behavior. God said you can use those calls. You can use those things if you want. But you know you're a hypocrite. We know what you did in that mall, Mayor, and Texas legislators. But you had to lie to your community and lie to what you stand for. I didn't ask for this. You act like you understand God, but you don't understand God. Your actions, God said your action mean another. But let me tell you, you did me a favor. You did me a favor. God said this is an idea Because you want to, if that DA wouldn't have been in that mall, and if that Carrollton police wouldn't have knocked at my hotel, and that Garland police wouldn't have came, you dumbass niggas wouldn't have been caught. If y'all Addison, you did God a favor. This line situation won't be coming to you. Did me a favor. It's God said it's going to come to light. And I filed a racial complaint on every Texas legislator on the civil rights. You know what you did. But you had to help us for your community, help us for liars. You want to see them. I know we've never been selfish. But let me tell you, Kanye West says something on this new song, Hungry. Baby, I'm not hungry. But I refuse to listen to manipulation in that jailhouse and manipulation in those streets. And that's something we don't understand. Let them come up. Let them do what they do. But everybody's so caught up with names and not caught up with anything else. God said we ain't nowhere near finished yet. People have put me in this badge, the Texas legislator and City Hall, and them put me in this situation. And they didn't think before they assumed stuff. And they don't want to talk about their little lying ass, racist ass part. When the call center have done me wrong. Y'all are racist and hypocrites. But you act like you forgot and you're supposed to know how these businesses are. I will not fail. God said, I haven't failed you before when racism and Walmart did you on when they intimidated you. I told Doug McMillan and CEO, racism, intimidation, and I told him exactly what was going on at 1216. God said, hold no buts about it. Intimidation, looking at racism in his face. We are not the same. I told the Walmart CEO, told the FBI, God said, I want them to know, God don't want you to change their mind. I don't want you to change your mind about me because of one man. Because of one man and other 3-4 employees' behavior. Don't change your mind. God said, would you accept me? Will you live up to your words? It's not about one man. God said, would you keep your promise when it's time to keep your promise? I told the Justice Department, it's not about value. It's about acceptance. When you accept, that comes with value. When you accept God's children that come with value, you see growth as you progress. When you accept, it's not about value. You might don't see value at that moment, but when you accept people for who they are, value plays in the progress of making them come to your company, embrace those things. It's not just about value and not just about intelligence, because when you accept, that come with value, that come with progress, that come with growth, that come with all of these things that we need to understand the key points of where we are trying to be in life. There's no mountain we can't climb. And that's why I did one of the songs off five is all 5 heartbeats. And I got on there and I started doing it on TikTok like you. And I started doing it on my other like you accounts, my other TikToks. It ain't no mountain we reclaim. But God said, don't let this one man change you, another jealousy change you. Because we embrace that. And God said, let us in. I let Orion say, Orion words don't affect me. You know why the words, you know why God looked somewhere in the facial expression? He looked as sad because they won't believe him. They want take his word for it. When I tried to tell him in Dallas County that God was so sad because people got their ears on everybody else and listening to liars and not listening to the true ones. And God had that expression on his face that nobody couldn't understand. They thought it was guilt, but that was misunderstood. They thought it was guilt, but it was misunderstood at the same time with those things. It wasn't guilt, it wasn't none of those things, but it was misunderstood that God was sad about. He carried that cross. It was not understanding him was the most effective thing. It wasn't guilt. It was not, it's misunderstanding him. And I realized the prostitutes, and Pimp C talked about prostitutes. And I realized that God, and I'm understanding Pimp C, and I've been around those type of behaviors, and I've been around those type of things in Dallas and Oak Cliff, dealing with my oldest brother. And Pimp C just me, him, Pimp C out, and seeing what Pimp C is. It's people that's not bad on it's prostitution and on both sides, but it's people that's able to manipulate and not have the guidance that they want. And I just think that where that is, that can be the most important avenue in our society where those things at. And me listening to Pimp C and what he able to speak about, that was the most important thing when he talks about gang and prostitution. They don't have those. And many days I sit in with my oldest brother Dominic in Dallas, and I watch scrippers do stuff in the house and just not take their clothes off and just get dressed and those things. And I never judged them. I never judged them for what they are, and I never understand those matters in the way of understanding those things. And I never understood those things. But those things were more important. I don't got time for that. One thing we talking about the leaders of the gangs of the Crips in Fort Worth in 1990s, he didn't have the knowledge. He said every time I get out there, the Bloods and the Crips in Fort Worth, every time they mess with, I'm gonna mess with them. We're gonna attack. No, every time they mess with us, we're gonna go on the civil rights, and we were gonna report a claim. When I'm out there with my phone, when I went to that Justice Department, when I stood in that court, I went on the Attorney General to report against the state of Texas, and they took it too far, and they forced me to go on a civil rights thing. So they made me step it up a little bit with their misconduct. The state of Texas and the courtroom made me step it up a little bit with their misconduct, with their little lying ass behavior. I'm not hiding. No, people, this is just the beginning. You think I worry about it? He got a good intelligence. You think I worry about what he said at the end of the day? Because God already planted my feet. They want to say I don't want them to know. God said, "We don't compare me to them. I'm something much more than a preacher. I'm something much more than my heart raises." I know church in the city is going to be on my account because I actually gave them my account, and they're going to be talking about it. I was a step ahead. When they was talking, I was a step ahead. I made sure things needed to be taken care of because God said, we won't let this come back to hunt us. I made sure I was a step ahead. I made sure all the talk with this talk.